Wait, have you heard about GoodRx? GoodRx finds free coupons to help you save up to 80% on your prescriptions. Wow, I had no idea. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions.
The following is a paid program. The opinions and views expressed do not reflect those of Bloomberg LP, its affiliates, or its employees.
Fetch.ai is a Cambridge-based artificial intelligence company building an open access, open source, tokenized, decentralized machine learning network. So here to explain a little bit more about what Fetch.ai is doing is Mayan Sheikh, the CEO. So great to have you back. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Jane. It's always a pleasure to be speaking to you, and thank you for inviting me to talk about what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, very cool and interesting company. So for people that maybe missed the first interview, why don't you give us an overview of what Fetch.ai is doing?
Sure. Fetch.ai is building solutions which normal people, small businesses, big businesses can deploy very easily. It's open source, and it's a lot easier to deploy. You don't need very specific skill sets to do it. We are creating all the tools which you need for a decentralized AI, so that you're not beholden to big corporates. You can control your data, you can control your own machine learning, but you can work collectively with other parties and do complex machine learning and AI tasks a lot easier than what it is today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember when we first talked, I thought how cool it was that this would be a good solution for maybe a small business that doesn't want to, hire a big AI firm or have their own AI department, and they get to control their data, which is something that people, I feel like, are getting more concerned about.
Absolutely. And I think what needs to be understood is AI is not going to be a choice. AI is not going to be an option. AI is going to be mandatory. So you will need to do machine learning and AI tasks if you want to survive now.
Tell me about the collective learning framework. What is that, and how can businesses benefit from that?
Right. As the name suggests, it's about collectively learning of different algorithms and machine learning algorithms and AI. So the purpose of collective learning is to enable businesses, people, different entities to actually learn from data which is sitting in different places and do a collective learning process whereby everybody benefits from everybody's data without actually sharing the data. So for example, if you look at what's been happening with COVID-19 and you wanted to analyze X-rays of lungs, for example, and that's by the way, a demonstration we've recently done. You could learn from each other's data sets without sharing the data and improve very quickly the detection of COVID-19, for example, or any problem symptoms in the lungs. It's a very interesting space we're in. We have a whole world who needs to collaborate to do things, but we are quite siloed in terms of where the data sits. So this unlocks all of that. So you don't need to move the data around. You make your algorithms learn from wherever the data is and then collaborate with everybody.
Okay, very interesting, and could be a real problem solver. So what kind of real world applications is this technology being applied to right now?
You can apply it to many different things, but I think it's quite interesting where the most impact is coming from. So if you look at healthcare, for example, you have different hospitals. They don't. There is a huge issue about the customers' privacy, clients or patients' privacy, and if you could actually remove that barrier, and you could actually have a system whereby all the hospitals can sign up to.
Okay, and then finally, Humayun, just what's next? Like, what are your next steps for Fetch.ai?
We have quite a bit of an ambition. We want to democratize the AI, and we want to democratize all the tools which come for AI and should be able to use. So we are launching different initiatives in different sectors. Healthcare is one. You could similarly apply collective learning into, for example, banking, where you could detect fraud. You could learn from all the transactions and make sure that every stakeholder can benefit from it. We're also looking into mobility, where we're enabling people to deploy their own mobility solutions rather than looking at big conglomerates who can actually deliver the service. So we're making creating and delivering service a lot easier for smaller businesses and individuals.
Now, are you looking for potential collaborators on this? And if so, how would somebody get in touch with you about that?
So we're always looking for collaborators because this is a decentralized project and it's a huge initiative. And we want small businesses, we want individuals to get in touch with us to deploy their own solution. We will provide them all the toolkits. We provide them all the tools necessary to build solutions on the platform. We have all channels. We have a Slack, developer Slack channel. We have commercial Slack channels. We have Telegram. We have presence on the website. You can contact us via email. There's any way you feel like we have all of that on our website, so you can easily get in touch.
Okay. Well, thank you for the update, Humayun. It's great to see you again. Always interesting.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you as well for joining us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. CEEK is like Ticketmaster for virtual reality. So, sounds very exciting. And here to tell us more about that is the CEO and founder of CEEK, Mary Spio. So, great to have you, Mary.
Thank you so much, Jean. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
So, first, tell me about the company. What is it you do? You said Ticketmaster for VR. So, explain what CEEK is all about.
So CEEK is a streaming platform for virtual events and experiences, and we feature everything from concerts to educational programming, healthcare training. So it allows you to virtually be there just by putting on a virtual reality headset. It allows you to teleport to places that you can be virtually, and.
Well, what I was going to say, the first thing when you mentioned that was I thought about the pandemic and how you have a solution for things that we can't be at a big concert or a big sporting event. I mean, have you found the pandemic has accelerated your business at all?
Absolutely. There's just been so much. I'm on the cover of Entrepreneur Magazine this month for exactly that, because we've seen such a tremendous growth in our business. There are a lot of with a lot of mega stars. So we're working with Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and the list goes on YouTube. But since the pandemic, a lot more people have come to us, telling us about the need for virtual classrooms, the need for virtual concerts. Bon Jovi, for example, canceled his concerts, but we have a virtual concert on our platform. We just did a Ringo's recent birthday party, Beatles drummer. I mean, it's like the types of opportunities that are coming to us now are just truly, truly phenomenal.
Yeah, and you have a lot of partnerships with well-known media and entertainment companies. So tell me about those.
Yeah, so we're partnering with Microsoft. With Microsoft, we're working with them and creating a a streaming protocol for verifying content on the blockchain. One of the biggest problems that faces the industry, especially when you're streaming other people's content, is being able to verify how many plays have been done. Artists complain all the time that I've seen my video play on YouTube, 2 billion times. So why am I not getting paid for it? So by teaming up with Microsoft Azure Blockchain, we're able to now verify every time a stream happens, and also the content owners are paid royalties through smart contracts.
Okay, and that's something that's really needed, and there's so much kind of, I don't know, shenanigans, manipulation of media, things going on on the internet right now that the blockchain can really help solve that.
Absolutely, it does. To have a immutable ledger that we're able to record all transactions, and then it also simplifies the process. So not only does it make it more trusting, but it also makes it efficient. The fact that you could pay rights owners automatically through smart contracts, that they could look at the ledger, they could see how much of their content has been consumed, and then they can also be automatically paid.
Okay, wow, it sounds like a very interesting business model. Tell me about your background, because I asked you a little about the goggles, and you created the goggles.
Yes.
Do you have a tech background? Okay, so let's see them. And then
yes, here.
How do you even begin to create virtual reality goggles?
So my background, I'm actually a deep space engineer. So I started out building, satellites, sending rockets into space. I did that for a while, and then I went more into developing applications that use satellites. So I was the head of satellite communications for Boeing, where we created the digital cinema technology. Actually, if you look at the Boeing patents, you see that 4 of the digital cinema, the live streaming of a satellite, I'm the sole inventor of that. So I've invented a lot of patented technologies. And when I started using a lot of the headsets that were on the market, first of all, they were very complicated desktop devices. You had to strap a computer to your back, all kinds of stuff. And so I wanted to create something that was convenient, that would use mobile phones, and then also that accommodated for people that wear glasses, for women and kids, because most of the devices that were in the marketplace were not suitable for women and kids. So we've created a device that's suitable for everyone.
Okay, well, fascinating background. I mean, you're like a female Elon Musk, kind of.
yeah, much. I have satellites that are, still in space today that I sent out there. So
very cool.
Yes, successfully out there.
Okay, so just in terms of the company, like how can somebody learn more? Are you looking for partners? Like what's next for CEEK?
So basically where we are now, we're on a mission to make the use of the CEEK platform universal. No different than Googling something. We want people to be able to meet. Today, everybody's on lockdown, and so they can't go anywhere. So we have these virtual venues. We want people to say seeking to be synonymous with meeting friends, gathering, and we've created a lot of partnerships. Where we are now is in the process of really amplifying a lot of those partnerships that we've created. We have over 300 concerts on our platform, biggest there, and we're just looking to grow and exponentially grow.
Mm-hmm. And then, Mary, just once we get back to normal, whenever that may be, we can go to concerts again and things. Do you see then a role for virtual reality? Like, has this changed things? We'll be able to have both virtual and in-person events from now on?
The platform was originally created because, for example, Adele had a concert where she was selling just 100,000 tickets. 10 million people tried to buy those tickets. Created this to sell to those 9.9 million people that couldn't go to the concert, for that 99% of people. And that's very true for most concerts. So while, the pandemic has accelerated our growth and, brought in a flurry of, supernovas, we actually have a place in the market with or without the pandemic. So we were working, we had Lady Gaga on our platform before, we had Katy Perry on our platform before. So we extend the reach of sold out shows or undersold shows. So there's very much a place for us. But now the whole world knows about it. And, we don't have to beat the drum so hard.
Well, and you think about the possibilities you can do. So, I mean, there's nothing like a concert in person, But if you can't get there, if it's overseas, if something's, I mean, it really opens up a whole new world of enjoying entertainment globally.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming, Mary. It's great to hear about CPR, and best of luck.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
SoMee is a growing social media site that is reaching partnerships with several different entities. And with me, the CEO and founder of SoMee, Chris Kramer, and also Liron Glickman, who has joined them with a partnership and kind of with the UN and kind of a human factor. So give me an introduction of what you guys are doing together and why it's important.
Absolutely. So Liron has joined us as a partnership. She's an international business consultant with the Human Factor, actually in town speaking at the UN, and she's doing amazing things, just flew in from Israel. And we're just really pleased to have her join SoMee to help us with, as a business consultant, as we grow the platform. Maybe tell us a little bit more about what the Human Factor and what you're doing.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So first of all, again, SoMee, brings an amazing and important message to this, world of open, I would say, data. When it comes to social media, we all enjoy social media and all want to feel, obviously more secured and then again enjoy it. I come from the global business development world. So my firm, the Human Factor, actually, I work with startups globally and help them expand into different markets. With a social twist. I mean, I'm also an advisor to the UN committee, so we always put in mind the things that will essentially support humanity, people in different aspects. Here we're talking about just enjoying social media and be secured.
We really want to work with Liron to expand into those markets internationally, take a look at maybe compliance things as well, and make sure that we're compliant in other markets, and just expand the network. Now we have a scalable network in place to support it.
Well, and those are important business principles too, because we're seeing increasingly consumers want that part of it. They want to be a part of a business that is also doing things for the environment and for social, to help with humanity and things. So it kind of fits business and social wise.
We have a social good integration coming called Social for a Cause. And that's really where we're going to partner as well, where it's going to be allow people to give automatically through smart contract to the charity that they are interested in. So Liron, as well as another one of our partners, is going to help vet the charities to make sure that they're all legit. And then we add them inside of our wallet. And then as people see the charities that they enjoy or that they want to support, they can automatically give to that charity.
And best of luck. Thanks, Liron and Chris, for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And thank you as well. We'll be back. Mandi Token is an Indonesian-based blockchain company. Indonesia is expected to have big GDP growth in the coming years. Mandi Token invests in a variety of real-world assets. And here to tell me more about what the company is doing is J.D. Salbeko, the Chief Communications Officer, and also Jonathan Dunsmore, the U.S. Securities Attorney for Mandi Token. So great to see you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And J.D., let's start with you. So I've heard a lot about the company, Mandi Token. My understanding is it stands for mining and infrastructure. So fill us in on what the company is all about, how you're using blockchain technology. Give us an overview.
Wonderful. Well, obviously we've all seen blockchain technology for the past 10 years. It's definitely proved itself, right? And we've heard a lot of the same stories over and over about the solutions that it provides. So, we're taking conventional business investments, and we're creating an ecosystem that integrates blockchain technology with traditional investment structures. That creates the best of both worlds. The mining and infrastructure, M&I, ecosystem includes commercial properties such as hotels, resorts, retail, and then government-backed land projects, all in one ecosystem. It enables holders of its digital share certificates called Mandi tokens to share in the company's funds and thus benefit from revenue staking activities. So through this ecosystem, we'll provide maximum liquidity, security, transparency, all the amazing things we know about blockchain technology. And we'll accomplish all of this by creating a completely digital share certificate that's augmented by the blockchain technology. Using this structure, M&I lets Mandi token holders secure value that is aligned by existing traditional businesses and shares in the percentage of those businesses in the revenue as well. The company is able to pursue this roadmap because the parent company, which is Pioneer Investama Indonesia, is a portfolio management company which is based in Jakarta, Indonesia. So the Mandi token specializes in investing in real-world assets, namely in the Indonesian conventional and pretty risk-adverse businesses. You know, the industries, as I mentioned, focused on hospitality, mining, infrastructure, commercial real estate. So Pioneer Investama, the parent company, issues Mandi tokens as a way to wrap all of these assets into one, so the risk and the value accruals are properly diversified.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. And it also opens up a lot of opportunities in emerging markets to be able to kind of shift around their economy. So we know JP Morgan has recently invested in Indonesia, Morgan Stanley as well over the past 5 years. So can you explain a little bit about the investment and growth opportunities there, especially as you're an Indonesian-based company?
It's a great question. You know, right now, Indonesia is nearly 40% of the Asian economy, with a GDP of $1+ trillion. That's 3 times that of Singapore. I don't know if most people know that. That's a huge number. You know, Indonesia, with 260 million people, is rapidly growing, or has a rapidly growing middle class, abundant natural resources, and political stability that make Indonesia a fast emerging power. Currently, it's the 16th largest economy in the world, with economic growth of 5 to 6% for the last 10 years. You know, it's predicted in 10 years that it's going to become the 7th largest by 2030, with only China, U.S., India, Brazil, and Russia being bigger. That's phenomenal.
Okay, very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Jonathan, so I know the U.S., many international countries still trying to figure out crypto regulation. I mean, they've been talking about it for a couple of years. I'm sure things have been delayed with the pandemic that we've been going with. You have submitted a Form D filing in the U.S., so that is a very proactive step to take. It's one of the biggest benefits of blockchain technology is the almost instant and also more secure peer-to-peer transfer of value globally without any intermediaries. So how are you dealing with these ever-changing regulations that are going on, especially internationally and from country to country?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and the answer is a team of lawyers. We have not submitted Form D yet, but we're working on it. We're in the process of filing that. So what's going to happen is we're going to give the SEC a heads up of what we're doing, and that we're on the hunt for accredited investors only. And so, unfortunately, retail investors are going to be out of this. But in the entire ecosystem of blockchain, it's just basically about regulatory compliance right now. We don't really have a lot of clarity, so what we have to do is use the existing law. Fortunately, as JD has mentioned, blockchain's been around for a while, so we've been able to kind of flesh everything out over the last probably 4 or 5 years, given the ICO boom. And it's really kind of developed this ecosystem of lawyers who kind of know what they're talking about. And so me as U.S. counsel, and then we're starting to develop partnerships all around the world, specifically in Indonesia, of course, but that's what's going to be necessary to have this Mandi token available to the world.
And then can you explain a little bit more about, there's a $100 million acquisition, or at least a group of acquisitions, also $70 million debit credit line that you and your parent company, excuse me, Pioneer Investama are working on. Ernst & Young also working on auditing of the assets acquisition. So explain all of those relationships and how they all help Mandi token strategically.
Yes. So just like any type of asset, right? When you purchase it, you can take out debt against it. And so that's kind of what's going on here is the parent company, Pioneer Investama Indonesia, has a very substantial asset valued at roughly $100 million. And we have a credit facility that's willing to lend up to 70% of that, which is $70 million. So at this point, we have Ernst & Young going through the financials and digging through all those things to make sure that we can legally say that everything is worth what it's supposed to be worth.
Right. So JD, tell me a little bit about some of these new strategic investment partners you have. Ernst & Young is one of them. What are some of the current investments in the portfolio? What is your long-term investment and partner strategy?
We're targeting existing and established businesses and acquisitions, not developing projects or companies. Companies that join Mandi tokens and acquisition and acquired by Pioneer Investama Indonesia are profitable, creditable, and established already. The risk profiles are very low and bring us safer and more profitable returns. All the strategic partners will be acquired under Mandi's parent company. Right now, we have 11 strategic investment partners with a total of 120 million assets that are currently under an Ernst & Young audit review right now. They're not going to be accepted until the final audit is approved, but they have met all our criteria of the type of a valuable business and investment that we'd like to get into, and they're moving into the final due diligence round before a final acquisition.
Okay. And then, John, blockchain is such a groundbreaking technology. I mean, it really could change the whole world on how we operate at some point in the future. Explain to me a little bit about, in your white paper, how you're utilizing blockchain to make a tradable digital share certificate. So if you could explain the Mandi token, the digital share certificate, how all that works, what is the tokenomic structure, and so forth.
Can't get into the specifics of the technology. That's way above my pay grade. But basically what happens is as an investor, we all have had opportunities to take investments in private companies, and managing those private companies and what you own in those private companies is exceptionally difficult. This provides not only clarity from that investment in the private company, but also gives you kind of a voting right to what other future investments may be part of the portfolio. And so on a blockchain, it makes that immutable, which is exceptionally important when it comes to what we hope is a global asset and a global asset class. And so as this ecosystem develops, not only with Mandi, but with other investments around the globe through this same kind of facilitation, investors will be able to participate not only in the investment and show that they actually own this asset and on a mutable blockchain ledger, but they'll also be able to hopefully participate in other ways through voting or proxy voting or things of that nature. And so Mandi right now is pioneering all this in Indonesia because it's such a hotbed, and there's so much growth and there's so much development. And we truly believe that utilizing this system on a global scale for investment into Indonesia is really going to take off and help the Indonesian government, as well as these businesses that we're investing in, truly reach their maximum potential, not only from a financial standpoint, but also from an infrastructure and management standpoint.
Okay. And JD, let's wrap it up with you. So it sounds like there's lots of exciting things to do. I mean, of course, blockchain is always exciting. What it can potentially do for the global economy. Explain a little bit about Mandi token. What's, say, on your radar the next 3 to 6 months? Any kind of things like in the pipeline in the near term?
As simple of a question this is probably the hardest. We literally, and John will back me up, have so much going on right now. It's not even funny. We're in a full-blown go-to-market launch as we speak right now. Kind of with you guys as the first show. So there you go. The first show setting off our go-to-market strategy. We have a number. The biggest priority right now is getting the Ernst & Young audits done first and foremost. We're already listed on a couple exchanges. We're moving on to the next tier 2 or almost tier 1 exchange level. We're building out more partners and investments, raising money. We have a number of major partners I can't really discuss right now till it's actually finalized, but they go across different industry verticals across Indonesia, from payments to venture capital. I mean, the list is ad infinitum right now. This is not even one of those hype puff pieces. That's why, as you know, I started the show Flusters because we're just working around the clock right now.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I mean, starting any business, especially a global, kind of complicated technology company, is very, very difficult. So it's all very exciting. And congratulations for getting this far. And best of luck.
Thank you.
So thank you, Jonathan and JD, for joining us. And we'll be watching Mandi token and see how it does.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too, Jane.
The proceeding was a paid program. The opinions and views expressed do not reflect those of Bloomberg LP, its affiliates, or its employees.
This is the sound of greatness.